Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Foxx, and I am here with Mario Cuomo. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Are you doing anything interesting for Father's Day?
Yeah, it should be really standard. I think I'll go over to my parents' home and
Uh-huh.
a lot of meat will be grilled.
Yeah, yeah. I saw some meme today. It was like, oh, if you like on Mother's Day, they want to go to restaurants, and Father's Day just want to chill and grill and be left alone.
Yeah, put those dads to work. Work that
Yeah,
grill.
yeah. And you're back in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I'm proudly from the suburbs of Chicago
Yeah.
and still reside here. And yeah, this is where I've been born and raised.
Hmm.
So it's been
Yeah,
good though.
yeah, because I remember you started the Orwells back in Chicago and then you spent some time in LA, right?
Yeah, so I mean that's like a in that like roughly 10-year period, it was started in Elmhurst, which is like
Hmm.
25 minutes outside the city. And then I never spent too much time in LA. I spent more recently I did about a year ago. But never never really had like a apartment or a living situation outside of Illinois full time. But just, did a lot of traveling over the years and saw a bunch of places. But I mean, a lot of cool places that I could probably imagine myself living. But I don't know. The last time I was in LA, I didn't really feel like I didn't really feel like staying put for forever or anything like
Hmm.
that. But
Yeah.
maybe, who knows?
Yeah. I
But
mean, it's cool you have your home base and you feel good there.
I feel like weirdly drawn to the East Coast for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
Not New York though. That's
Yeah.
chaos. That's straight up chaos. I don't want that. But somewhere like in between, something quiet, something like like a Stephen King book town, something
Oh,
like that.
Salem's Lot. Um,
Yeah, maybe something like that.
yeah.
But I don't know, for some reason the East Coast seems a little bit more interesting to me, but maybe because I haven't been in a long time. I don't
That
know.
could, yeah, I mean, that could be it. I'm originally from the DC area,
Okay.
outside, right outside in Virginia, and I moved out to LA because I wanted to do, some music stuff. Because if you notice, a lot of bands have been skipping DC recently. They'll go to like Richmond, and then they'll go to Baltimore, and then they won't go to DC. So I
That's
don't
not
know
very punk. That's not very
what.
punk, is it? Not very punk.
Yeah.
Skip out on DC. We've had some extremely good shows in DC.
Hmm.
Very, very live crowds. I don't know if was that like a chaotic place to grow up or any was that weird being like so close to the government?
Not really. I mean, a lot of people would like work for the government. So you have the people doing, you have parents that would work for your friends' parents work for like the White House or the government or do certain things. So that was kind of like
Whoa.
normal. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
That
um,
is fucking weird.
yeah, it's cool. But it wasn't too chaotic because like I'm from, Virginia, so it's still close to DC, about 5 minutes outside. But being close to DC was great because I was able to still like go to punk shows, DIY shows, and there were some cool venues. Like I saw you guys play at Rock and Roll Hotel a couple times. That was a cool venue. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore.
Damn.
I
Yeah, I
know.
remember that being a good experience and a cool place.
That was a fun show.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are continuing to do stuff with the Orwells, right? I heard you had an announcement that you're releasing new music this year.
Yeah, we just put out two songs
Hmm.
and then we'll probably drop a couple more songs right around the time that we um return to touring. So we haven't really talked about it, but we are returning to the West Coast first.
Oh, awesome. Is it
So
still
we're
the
gonna
same people?
No, we have a new guitarist. That's way
Okay.
better.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we picked up a really good guitarist that's gonna make us a better band that already has actually. So yeah, his name's Caleb. He's a fucking virtuoso. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Is he
So he's
from?
gonna yeah, he's from out right outside Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we're probably gonna to have him come out here for some much needed rehearsal time
Yeah.
for at least a few weeks to get nice and tight.
Hmm.
And then yeah, we'll cruise out to the West Coast and we'll go up and down California, probably Portland, maybe Washington, I don't know. And
Hmm.
but yeah, it's all being booked right now. Hopefully it's you know, well worth all the some of us are gonna have to take some, you know, vacation from work and stuff, and there's some sacrifices are gonna be made to make it all happen. But I'm glad it's happening, and it should be nice. It should be a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you toured at all with your solo project?
I played a couple shows.
Yeah.
I played a couple shows in Los Angeles, and then I played a hometown show, and it was a lot of fun. And I think all those, I'll definitely continue to make solo music just because I like being a control freak.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and so like not really having to it sounds kind of selfish, but not having to like run ideas by people and like get like a
Mhm.
bunch of people to like agree on something before, you know, whether it's like art direction or anything like that is it's very it's it's very like kind of freeing, and kind of reminds me of maybe earlier times in like creating music where, you know, not so much mattered. So it's like if I want, you know, whatever I feel like making the artwork that day, I could just make it and put it out. And that's like a very therapeutic process that I think once you get involved with like, you know, whatever it is, like labels or fucking all of the other stuff, that sometimes that all that stuff becomes like a bigger pain in the ass. And it's nice to just have something that's totally my own that I can and just control. And you know, I don't have to worry about if it sounds like a certain genre, you know, there's not really I don't really have this I don't feel like I have to make anything that sounds a certain way for like any sort of, you know, fan base or anything. It's not like it doesn't have to have anything to do with my my rock and roll life,
Hmm. Do you
which is
still
cool.
feel attuned to that part of you? Because I do notice you're solo, like, middle American. It's a lot more like softer than I would say like Remember When.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I'm like, oh, it's like you're expressing this certain side of you that maybe, I don't know, you did have that a little bit with certain songs like Halloween All Year and,
Hmm.
but
I think I prefer music like that in general.
okay.
So like I don't really like I was just like I've been like yesterday I was watching I got like a couple VHS tapes of like ABBA's live
Awesome.
performances. And it's like one of the VHS was like all their music videos. One of it was like all this live TV stuff for Sweden that they did. And I was like getting like a serious kick out of that. So like
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. I was trying to explain this to my friend with kind of like harsher music and like harsher sounds in you know, why like adolescence tends to like breed stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when, you know, when you're at a more all over the place time of your life, why that it makes more sense that people make stuff like that. And then now that I'm like, you know, I just feel more relaxed and centered, that you know, I'm like longing for pretty melodies. I've been working on this electronic project for the last few months with my friend Drew, who produced some of my solo music. Like the last like 2 or 3 singles that I put out,
Uh-huh.
he produced, and he just is a whiz with like electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always really liked stuff like that. Like I'm like a huge like Daft Punk fan, Crystal
Yeah.
Castles, like all that sort of music I've always really loved. And I've always kind of wanted to like get in on that and make something that's just be a part of something like that. So we started this project um called Vova Rossa, and it hasn't come out yet, but the EP sounds really great. We're like in the very finishing touches of it right now. And it just sounds really fun. And it's like not like it's unlike anything I've ever contributed to before. So I'm very excited to just see kind of like what like electronic fans like, you know, how they react to it, or what they think of it, because you know I get the reaction from like rock and roll fans a lot, like no matter what I put out, if it's not really in that vein, you know, I still have the people that are like, oh well, this is cool, but this isn't really what I'm into. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, all
Okay.
right, yeah, yeah,
Why?
great. So this is so like so this is going to be more shit that they won't be into, but like other, you know, there's a lot of people that only listen to electronic music, you know, like there's a pretty wide open world out there as far as like music lovers go. So he's just really really good with electronic stuff, and he was showing me all this music, and you know, he's helped me a lot with music recently, and I was like, I would love to try to, you know, work on some melodies and record some vocals on some of this stuff. And we just had a blast. Like we work really good together, and you know, it's just smooth, and we come up with stuff pretty quick. And this EP came together like super painlessly, and I really like how it sounds. So that'll probably drop this summer. And it's been kind of a busy summer actually, from like a creative standpoint. So hopefully I can get as much stuff, you know, get it all out of my system this summer, so that when we tour in the fall and I go back to work,
Yeah.
it will be, fingers crossed, a lot of fun still.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I can, you know, hopefully make a couple bucks and come back, work on more stuff, get ready for another tour, you know,
Yeah.
maybe do. Right now we just have West Coast planned with Orwells, so we'll see how that goes, and then if it's a good time, we'll probably do East Coast too.
Absolutely. So what's changed with you and your band members? Like, I know you have a lot of the same original members, but is the dynamic, how has that changed over the years?
Not much really. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the luckily our new guitar player came in and really picked up the slack like right off the bat, and he ended up writing like at least a quarter of the music for our new record. Um, so like the last 2 singles that we just put out, Barfly and Friendly Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly Fire would be the last song on the album, and Barfly is somewhere in the middle. So they were just 2 songs that went really well together, but they weren't like the single, like not like they weren't really like singles in our head. It was just
Uh-huh.
like two really good songs off the record, and we wanted to save a few heavy hitters, you know, just just to have them, just to kind of like slowly bring out some music, instead of like just, you know, something like I would do, just drop an entire album and be like, here it is,
Yeah.
you you can have this, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care anymore. But when, you know, you got to meet in the middle, when you have bandmates and everybody has to agree on stuff. And I think it was a good move actually.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was kind of weird, like I don't know, like an A side, B side. Like I thought it was a little retro, you
Hmm.
know. But I was like, no, that's cool. They actually do sound really good together when you play them back to back.
Yeah.
So I came around to that, and then we'll probably do another A side, B side before tour.
Hmm.
Um, Probably something a little bit more upbeat, and then yeah, we'll hit the road. And I just can't wait to see. I can't wait to see, like, you know, our new guitarist and how we play together in a live setting. You know, we've rehearsed before, and we started writing this album and had most of the album um completed kind of before COVID. I mean, we ended up doing final recordings after COVID, like right after it. But I mean, we were still meeting up the whole time and practicing all throughout. So, I mean, we had like a pretty tight live set before COVID happened, actually.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something live and just go play one show together and like see how everything went because you know, he was fairly new to the band, but he was already just doing so good and writing such good music and you know, just made everything better that we were excited to do it live and see you know, and see how it went. But you know, that took a fucking good chunk out of everybody's, you know, whatever, that 2 years that kind of fucked live music.
Hmm. Yeah. But you created
You
a
know,
lot within the time being. You got to work on your solo project, or solo projects, and then
yeah,
everything else.
and we had a whole record in the bag that we just wanted to re-record.
Hmm.
And so we did get to re-record it as soon as COVID was over, and we all got together with the producer and put it all together, and all that stuff turned out sounding pretty good. And
Yeah.
good recordings, good times, and I'm just fucking. I feel like kind of bad that we never got to, you know, like we got Caleb involved and things were sounding so good, and like we didn't get to do that final piece of the puzzle, you know, and like we didn't get to go out and do it live, and that kind of sucked. I did feel kind of bad for that because it was like you know, he had already dedicated like a lot of time and energy to our band, and things were sounding very good. So it was like, you know, it was just bad timing
Yeah.
that everything shut down and we weren't able to go test it out.
Yeah.
But you know, it took a bunch of time, and now, you know, we get to go out there in the fall and
Hmm.
put these tracks to good use.
Yeah, that's gonna be really awesome. I'm stoked you're coming to the West Coast. Yeah. And I wanted to also talk to you about some other projects that you're doing. I saw that you just recorded your first short horror film,
Yeah,
The Grove. Yeah, talk to me about that.
that was an extremely wild experience just because I've never attempted anything like that.
Hmm.
But I thought, you know, I watch enough movies and I'm like obsessed with enough horror bullshit that I thought, like, you know, I should probably, it was fun. It was a fun thing to attempt to do in my
Hmm.
mind. And it did end up being like a total blast. And I just had my cousin and his friends. I just like put them up in my home for a few days.
Hmm.
And they were like, yeah, well, we could try to act, you know. They're not actors or anything, but it's a found footage horror movie. So, you know, from a director from like a director standpoint, that you can kind of get away with a lot more with that, like, you know, with that whole like POV
Yeah.
style. You know,
Hmm.
you don't have to, you know, I wasn't worried about like having a great director of photography or anything like that, you know. So
Hmm.
like or like lighting can be shoddy because it's just supposed to be one of the friends' camcorder or whatever, So that was a really great experience though. And I've always been kind of obsessed with directors that kind of got their start like going out to the woods and
Yeah.
like making stuff like Sam Raimi and all his Evil Dead movies and like the documentaries about the making of like the first Evil Dead was like so inspiring.
Hmm.
Like, like this kid in Michigan that was just like going door to door asking for money for his movie. And I was like, that's just like that's such like sheer determination, that like young Sam Raimi, this kid that was just obsessed with like George Romero movies, was like, I'm gonna get my movie made in the fucking we're gonna go to the woods and I'll do whatever I have to like get enough money to make it happen. And then, ended up making something so historic and, just like total guerrilla filmmaking out in the woods. And
Yeah.
I've always just loved hearing, like even like Eli Roth's Cabin Fever, like all these like really, and he was, inspired by the same guy, but all these legendary like horror movies, like I just love that idea of getting out there, going out into the woods with some people and just seeing what you could come up with. And I mean, not like the very last scene of my short film takes place in the woods, but for the most part, it's kind of like a coming of age movie about friends and
Hmm.
friendship, really, that takes place in 1999, and it just kind of follows them on their day off, like in search of the cure for boredom or whatever
Hmm.
in the suburbs of Chicago. So I cited Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the Blair Witch Project as the main inspirations for the
Hmm.
story. So that was my research. I watched a lot of
Yeah.
director commentary, and I watched those two original movies are just such great ideas that I really wanted to put them together
Yeah.
in my own way, in my own low budget short film kind of way. And I actually start editing on Monday, so I don't know how long it will be or anything.
Hmm.
But hopefully I can maybe enter it in a couple little horror festivals or something. I see what people make. I see some of the pieces of shit people put out. So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe my little thing can hang with them. I think
Absolutely.
it might be fine. So yeah, I have that love for horror, but I don't know. I don't totally identify as a like the typical horror junkie, but I do have a serious interest in it. And I got my other shit. I got music and stuff to like kind of keep me grounded.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to just try something completely new and kind of jump into it. And I was really lucky that my cousin and his friends like just trusted me. Like they heard out my idea and I showed them like a rough script and we all got on the phone and I was like, can you guys come out for a weekend and can we just try to do this? And they said yeah. And all I had to do is feed them and buy them 40s.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to ask about like it doesn't seem like there was really, there was a loose script, there was a loose structure, but you kind of came up with different ideas like on the fly, like as you were shooting.
Yeah, I mean we had like a shot list, but I really wanted them to
Mhm.
it was semi legit. We watched
Yeah.
dailies and shit, like I
Yeah.
we gave it a good shot. And no, like if I wanted them to be they are actually like pretty much best friends in real life. So
Hmm.
I wanted them to be able to be pretty loose with how they speak to each other, or
Yeah.
when they're goofing off, or how they would actually interact.
Right.
If they just had a day to fuck around and go get drunk in the woods at night. So that was all I was like, that's all I want you to do. I don't want you to deliver some fucking some Academy Award winning performance right now. Like
Yeah.
I would really like you guys to be yourselves. Don't get too deep. And but oh my God, the most impossible thing was to get them to talk like to not say like bruh. Was
Yeah, because it takes
was
place in 99.
it was impossible. Like there was like one time there was like 15 takes ruined in a row because my cousin kept saying bruh. And like we watched him back and it was unbelievable. I'd be like, don't say it. Ready? Action. I'd be like, action. And the first thing out of his mouth would be like, what the fuck, bruh? And then
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude. And he was like, what? And he wouldn't even know that he
You
said
wouldn't
it.
know. Yeah.
No. So I was like, you're allowed to say dude, man, and bro if you want. But watch the bruhs. You can't fucking say that. So that was the only real struggle that we had actually. Was like making sure the dialogue didn't slip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I
it
guess
was
you
a
do have
fucking
to
blast.
consider that when doing a more period piece.
Yeah, I think all the clothing I was I did all jobs. So like costume design, all that shit was like just things from eBay that I saw in the last few months that I just slowly had shipped over to my house and set design, all that. Um yeah, I mean it was a short film. It wasn't like fucking after that experience though, like now that I think about, feature length stuff and people working on a movie for a month, like that,
Mhm.
that does, I understand how daunting that is now.
Yeah. It's a big project. I mean,
So,
it's like writing an album or, you have to get the art, you have to get all the tracks together, you have to organize it. But it is like
yeah.
all encompassing project. But that's
Hmm.
so cool that you're able to like do all these different projects and have that like creative therapy,
Yeah.
all these
Me,
different avenues.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's kind of what keeps me sane for sure. But yeah, musicians can kind of take their sweet ass time,
Yeah.
they can like smoke weed about it. But, like when you're shooting with people, it's like I have these people for whatever it is. I had them for 3 days, you know. So we did like, basically 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. with, a break for food in
Yeah.
between, take an hour to chill out. But for the most part, it's a pretty vastly different, you can't really just kind of wait for inspiration with like, yeah, that was just a really great experience. And
Mhm.
I can't wait to cut the trailer.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut like a 1 minute trailer just to like get people excited.
When should we expect
And
that? I know you just
uh
finished filming.
probably August.
Okay. Yeah, really
Probably
soon.
take my time with editing a little bit. Kind of just chill out for July. And then I was thinking like maybe August trailer and then short film, maybe late September.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't really want to wait till Halloween. I hate waiting.
Yeah. No, just get it
So
out there.
I feel like as soon as we have it done and I really like it, I'm gonna be like, fucking as soon as fall starts, I want this out, you
Yeah.
know, give something people, to snack on during fall would be nice.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Yeah.
And
Well, you got,
then I gotta hit the road. And then I
yeah,
gotta
you've got
sit in
a
a van. Back
right.
to the van sitting.
Van life.
I really don't know how I'm gonna like this. I'm
Yeah.
very kind of like I'm slightly nervous because I'm wondering like with a job like that did alcohol like help me keep it going,
Right.
like whenever you're like kind of, oh, this wasn't, this drive sucks, or like, I didn't get to shower, this morning and I'm kind of annoyed, but then you drink about it like, at night, and then it buys you time,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not going to be doing that now. So like, I don't know how this is going to go or like how I'm going to feel. I know it's still going to be like fun and like performing is going to be the shit. Like that's always a great experience, but
Hmm.
dealing with all the other aspects of it, I think it's no surprise that that the life of the entertaining musician breeds problems with drugs and alcohol. That's like,
Yeah.
I totally understand why. So, um, I think I'll be fine. But I think if I really don't, if I really have a bad time, I probably will, I'll probably say it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm excited and I'm open-minded with the whole experience. And I really hope that it goes really good, but I think there is something weird with how
Right.
alcohol and live music and all that kind of goes together
Mm-hmm.
and culminates that I'm probably going to have to have a lot of patience with, you know, even like interacting with like a rowdy crowd or something. You can kind of act a little bit tougher when you've had like, some drinks, and you can kind of shake things off. But I
Yeah.
think, you know, I'm gonna have to be like kind of like I'm gonna have to be a little bit more like a Buddhist, I think, this time,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I can't let little things, bother me. Or like if a show's, or like, if a show wasn't that great, and like, whether it was good or bad, you still drink about it after,
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, you know, in theory it should be good, because like I should be remembering everything that like went well, or like what didn't go well, as far as like whatever songs working,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out a good set list. Like I should be able to process all of that better now,
Yes.
which should like in turn make like a better live set or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, but I do think about that. I think about like, am I gonna want to I could see myself like playing, and then like being like, I want to just be in a hotel now. Like I don't want to have any sort of like nightlife,
Right.
like rock and roll club, like kind of like just like that fucking. I don't know if I'm gonna want to be in that, just because I don't, in my personal life, I like have stayed away from like bars and like nightlife for the most part. Yeah, and it's gonna be better for my voice and everything. Like, you
True.
know,
True.
drinking a fucking half bottle of vodka and like fucking 12 beers is not good for your throat. I think for the most part, it should make the whole experience better for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited, and we will see.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see how
mean,
it goes.
you've already put this into practice and your bandmates are respectful of it. So I'm sure everything's going to go great.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be like forcing me to drink a beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's
Um,
gonna try to nobody's gonna try to get me to do anything that I don't want to do. So
yeah.
it should be all right.
All right. I think those are all my questions, but it was awesome getting to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about everything you're doing for the rest of the year and good luck with everything.
Thank you. I
All
really
right.
appreciate that.
Take care, Mario.
You too.
Bye.